Okay, Zoya, I'm looking at this file that you sent me, and this deals with that case number 9. And I'm going to click on the tab here that shows the linear regression data. And honestly, I'm not seeing where you got that from. And you're right, your figures don't match up with mine at all. I'm just not seeing it. So I'm going to go back here to this Karma Digital. These are the data for the problem. As you'll note, these two cells, this is what we're going to do the prediction for using the regression line. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the Data tab, and I'm going to come over to the Data Analysis, and I'm going to find the regression. Okay? I'll click OK. And I want the input Y range. And the input Y range is going to be the percent defective. That's the variable of interest is what it's called. And so I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to get the cell C. I'm going to start at cell C9, and I'm going to come down to cell C19. Now I'm not going to do anything for 2009, 2010 because they haven't occurred in the case. I'm going to do a prediction for those. So I'm taking cell 9 to cell 19. And then the input range will be the production volume. And I'm going to get the production volume from B9 to B19. Now I'm here in the regression dialog box, and I'm going to click Labels. And I'm going to put the output range not in a new worksheet, but in this worksheet. And I'm going to select the residuals and the line fit plots. And the constant is 0, and the confidence level will be 95%. I'm going to click OK. I need to find an area. I do that. Here we go. Go over here to K. Make up here to K, cell K2. I'll click OK, and I'll get the output. There's the output. I'm going to go ahead and highlight all this so you could see it, especially the part that we're going to be working with. And so I'll click the Home button, highlight that, and I'm going to bold it up as well. You can see now I'm going to be working with a couple of things here, and they're in cell in K. There's the regression. And what I'm interested in here is the intercept, okay, and then the production coefficient. And don't let that production coefficient fool you. It's in scientific notation. Now the intercept here is 1.12, and I'll scroll over a little bit and let you see that production volume line fit plot. Okay. Now we have we've run the regression equation. We've used regression in Excel. We've run that. Now we're going to do the regression line. And the regression line, I'm going to do this. It's going to be equal to the production volume coefficient. Okay. And that's at cell A19. I'm going to highlight that and make that an absolute cell reference, times the production volume, and that's for that B10. And there's, I'm going to take line B, and for B I'm going to put a $sign for it because I'm going to stay in that column. And that product will be plus the intercept. This is, remember, as we talked about in class, this is like the equation for a line. And I'm ready to input the formula, and there I get the prediction. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to decrease the decimal, and the percent defective predicted here is 1.88. And now, since I have built this equation and I have the L19 is all absolute cell references, L18, which is the intercept, is absolute cell references, and so I've got those fixed. And then the B, I put the $sign in front of the B so we stay in column B. And I'm going to do the drag and drop all the way down to 2008. And that gives me the predictions in terms of the percent defectives. And you could see those. And now in the case they had said, okay, well for 2009 you're going to make 15,000 units, and for 2010 you're going to make 20,000 units. And so what we're going to do is we're just simply going to take and extend, drag and drop it down onto for 2009, 2010, and there we see the percent defective, and we can round these to the nearest tenth, so we'll decrease those decimals. Okay. Now, so the percent defective we're predicting is 4.9%, and then for 2010, 6.2%. And so when I run the regression equation, that's what I get. Now, you'll want to take a look at the textbook. In that case, again, this is over in Excel 9. And let me find you the page number real quickly. Spreadsheet case 9 is over on page 81 in the text. It gives you the data that we use, and of course we got the data set there. We had that in Access. And if you want to see the regression equations, over on page 83, and they walk you through that, and they tell you this is page 83. I'm going to just, you can see it. I multiply the value of the x variable 1 coefficient, okay, and that's at L19, the production volume, times by each value of the independent variable, that's the pieces produced. So that's, as we see here, that's L19, which is the production volume coefficient, times the production volume, that's at B10 that you see in the equation there. And then the L18 is the intercept. We add that intercept. And then of course we did the drag and drop down to 2008. And then based on the, and then we use the regression equation to predict 2009 and 2010, assuming that we're going to produce 15 million and 20 million units individually. And that's what we've done. Now, I'm going to go over here for a moment and take this production line fit plot I'm going to size out a little bit. Okay. As you can see, we'll go ahead and the predicted percent defective. I'll just scoot this over so you can see it. The predicted percent defective, okay, is the red square. The blue is the percent defective, and you can see how they track along with each other. And we talked about this, that there's a positive correlation between pieces produced, production volume, and percent defective. In other words, the more stuff they produced, the more junk they were producing. And we talked about that during the case when we did the discussion in class. There really isn't any need to go in and create another. You really don't need to create another chart. You've got that right there. And what we get now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the chart, and I'm going to add a trend line. I get the trend line options, and it's a trend line. It's a linear trend. We're going to stick with that. We'll close that, and then you see here's the black, and that's that trend line. As I mentioned, it's trending upwards. And I'm going to take a minute or two. I'm going to close this off, and I don't want to take too awful long. But you'll want to compare this with what we uploaded over there in Moodle. And we can do that real quick. I'm going to diminish this file. This file I'm working on, Zoya, I'm going to send it to you. I'm putting it on my desktop. I'll close it off. And what I'll do is, just to make sure you recall, I'll go ahead and highlight this area where I did the regression equation with the nice green. And then I've got the output from the regression equation from Excel, all the output it gives you, and the line fit plots over here as well. And I'm going to rename this tab I'm going to rename the tab Solution. Now I'm going to close this, save it, and I'm going to go to the internet, and that's the little place for this application I use. And I'm going to go over here to Moodle, and I'm going to pull that up. I'll log in here real quickly. And I'll go there and we'll find that. There's XLS9. Done. And there are those percent defectives we put in 4.9 and 6.2 as it predicted. And the 6.6, I'm looking at that, I'm trying to figure out where we got that. Frankly, where I got that? 4.9, 6.2, that should be 6.2 by the. I think we did something when we ran those, but they should be 4.9 and 6.2. Okay, and then we did a little line fit plot there, and that may have the 5.6 and 6.6. That may have been in that data file. I'll have to check the skeleton file that we loaded to see if it was up there, but I don't think it is. But the 4.9 and 6.2 are what we should have. Okay? Alrighty. That'll help. Hopefully that'll help you. If you have any more questions, send me another email and I'll try to help you out. Okay? Take care. Get rid of this. Close this off. And I'll stop recording.